together nice and comfy. Here you are. Let's bring this in so everybody can see us. Yeah. Comfy. Look as if you're just about to get married. Captain's log, stardate 0103.01. Marriage, the final frontier. A voyage into the unknown, to explore, to adventure, and to seek out the best in each other. To boldly go where neither of you have gone before. Good afternoon, good evening actually. Good evening everybody, good evening family and friends. I'm going to turn it a wee bit so people can see all of us. Hiya, hi family and friends. My name is Admiral James T Lindy. I was just a captain when we started planning this ceremony, but there's been many light years since. And it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all aboard the Starship Enterprise in the Radisson Red Nebula to accompany and witness Tamara and Graeme as they embark on this cosmic journey from singledom to marriage. And although this ceremony looks very different from what was originally planned, and we just have a skeleton crew here on board, I know that we are joined from all over the galaxy. So at the moment we've got like 50 people watching, and we've got people from Kent. If I shout where you are, a big cheer. Kent, Thornbury, Worcestershire, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Glasgow, yay! Paisley, but we've also got Vulcans, the Hornblowers and the Proudfoots. And of course everybody else who's watching on Facebook, you are most welcome to this beautiful event that has been a long time coming. It's been a long and winding road to get here, but here you are. But what is marriage? Because on the one hand, we know that marriage is a legal union and lawful contract between two people. But on the other hand, we know it's so much more than this. In fact, you could say that marriage is a black hole. Now, I'm sure there would be people who would agree with me, but not for the reasons that I intended. You see, what I mean is that marriage is a bit like a black hole. In that, there you both are, just minding your own business, having fun together, getting to know each other, eating pizza and watching superhero movies in your giant onesies, when all of a sudden something changes in your relationship. There's a shift in the force, and you begin to feel a pull towards something more. And without really knowing what's inside, you allow yourselves to be drawn in. And then, before you know it, bam, you've been sucked right in. That didn't sound as romantic as what I thought it was going to sound in my head. Right, let's try something else. So, you know, in Star Trek, whenever there's a galactic emergency and some Klingon warship is cloaked and ready to fire on an unassuming planet, and it's up to the crew of the Starship Enterprise to save the day. And no matter how rough things get, no matter how many challenges and obstacles are put in their way, every member of the crew has an inexplicable faith in Captain Kirk. And that's what marriage is. It's an inexplicable faith in someone else. Or in Star Wars, when the Rebel Alliance, I've got to get them all in because they're like all these different geeky things. Or in Star Wars, when the Rebel Alliance is attacking the Death Star and they're trying to fire into that teeny tiny wee hole and they keep missing. And then in the last attempt, Luke Skywalker recognises he just has to put his faith in something bigger than himself. That's what marriage is. It's about putting your faith in something bigger than yourself. Or when Frodo steps forward and says, I will take it. I will take the ring to Mordor. And a fellowship of trust and faith is formed. That's what marriage is. A fellowship of trust and faith. And so here you both stand. A fellowship, a crew of two, ready to publicly declare your faith in each other by joining together in marriage. But of course, marriage is not a step to be taken lightly. A bit like a visit to Isla Nublar, you both need to be pretty sure before going there. And so, before we go any further, I have to ask Tamara May Kearney and Graeme Norman Carrick, do you both seek to enter into this commitment of marriage?
I do.
Yes. I would have preferred aye, Captain, but it's their marriage, it's their day, I'll let them off it. But one of the wonderful things about having a ceremony like this is that you get to involve the people that you love. And although there are too many people missing from today's ceremony, Tamara and Graeme are still delighted to have Maid of Honour Sarah recite a poem for them. So can I ask Sarah to come forward?
This is from Captain Corelli's Mandolin. Jesus. After I get started.
Really good oranges.
When you fall in love, it's a temporary madness. It erupts like an earthquake, and then it subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots are to become so entwined together that it is inconceivable that you should ever part. Because that's what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It's not excitement. It is not the desire to mate every second of the day. It's not lying awake at night imagining he's kissing every part of your body. No, don't blush. I'm telling you some truths. For that is just being in love, which any of us can convince ourselves that we are. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away. Doesn't sound very exciting, does it? But it is.
Thank you, Sarah. It doesn't sound very exciting, but it is. And it's certainly exciting here. I thought we could just stop. We can maybe wave to all the people that are watching you on Facebook, all your family and friends.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome. And so we've got, Jackie and Evelyn, and I got a message. Hold on, I'll read the message I got from somebody. I hope it's somebody you know. This is going to be a bit of Easter Shiny. Morgan Murray.
Yeah.
Morgan who? so Morgan says, very happy to see Graeme and Tamara tie the knot. Really looking forward to meeting up in the summer sunshine to celebrate. Aren't we all? Okay, there's a quote that says, love is never late, nor is it early. Instead, it arrives precisely when it means to. Now, for those of you who don't know, those lines are adapted from the movie Lord of the Rings. And if, like these two, you're a bit of a nerd, you'll notice that today's ceremony is infused with quotes and quips and references to many of Graeme and Tamara's favourite geeky sci-fi movies. I'm dressed up as a Starfleet officer, for goodness sake. So if you hear something that doesn't make sense, please know that it makes absolute sense to Tamara and Graeme. But, how did these two come to be standing here in the bridge, the Starship Enterprise, or the Skybar of the Radisson Red in Glasgow, preparing to exchange the vows that will transform them from being just two individuals into becoming husband and wife. Well, let's go back a bit. Let's time travel back to a lecture hall in Strathclyde Uni in 2008, where, because Tamara was studying forensic biology and Graeme studying biochemistry and microbiology, they found themselves in some of the same classes. Biochemistry and microbiology, those lectures must have been riveting. And because the labs at the university were set out in alphabetical order, it meant that they often found themselves in the same place at the same time. And given that they are both complete nerds, their words, no mine, they were always the first to turn up to class, and so they would chat, or Tamara would peek over Graeme's shoulder to steal his answers. But when I asked them about their first impressions in those early days, those university days, Tamara told me that she thought Graeme was handsome and super smart. But then she added, not anything like he was in real life. So I don't know if that means the handsome bit or the smart bit or both. I'll let you ask her later. Okay, move on, Lindy. And when I asked Graeme the same, he said he thought Tamara was clever. That's because she was stealing all your answers.
That does make sense now.
and that she was funny, pretty, and had a real twinkle in her eye. And so, just like a pair of happy atoms, they were drawn to each other and a beautiful friendship grew. Then, in fourth year, they began to realise just how much they had in common, not least of all the love of Marvel, Lord of the Rings, and Die Hard. In 2012, they eventually went on their first date, and what can I say about that? Their relationship evolved from a beautiful friendship into something more. And again, when I asked them about what it was about the other that they fell for, Tamara told me that not only is Graeme smart, but she loves that he's funny, curious, makes puns out of everything, and that they just get each other. While Graeme told me it was her kindness and the fact that Tamara too is curious and inquisitive, but always interested in others and always has time for the people who are important in their lives. Their first formal date was to see the pandas at Edinburgh Zoo. And just like every other date would turn out to be, it was relaxed and fun. And soon they were even meeting each other's families. Actually, Gary here met Tamara's dad quite early in their relationship. Didn't know that was coming. He met Tamara's dad, and her dad got his name wrong and called him Gary. And I believe he still does it, but this time it's deliberate. But over time, Tamara and Graeme say their relationship has gained strength and weight. But with great power comes great responsibility and more than a little effort. And so when I posed the question, okay, tell me about the wee things that the other person does that drives you mad, Tamara told me Graeme has a tendency to pretend he's listening when he's not. Passive listening, he called it. While Graeme says Tamara always waits till he sits down and then asks him to do something. What's wrong with that?
I can see her waiting till I sit down, though. That's what's wrong with it.
So she waits till you sit down and then she asks you to do something. Yes, that's our girl. On St Andrew's Day 2013, Tamara and Graeme were having a lovely, relaxed evening at home when Graeme surprised Tamara by proposing. And Tamara said, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker." No, she didn't say that. She didn't say that at all. John McClane said that in Die Hard. Tamara, with a huge grin on her face, said yes. However, just like a trip up Mount Doom, the path to true love rarely runs smooth. And when Graeme developed an illness that meant he had to slow down a bit, Graeme and Tamara moved in with Graeme's parents, and with Tamara doing a pharmacy degree, as you can imagine, things were tight for a while. But as a very wise man once said, I choose to run towards my problems and not away from them. And so throughout this time, Graeme and Tamara remained a team and faced the illness together, finding strength in each other. And because of this, as Tamara and Graeme said in their own words, it's been easy even when it's been difficult. Then 2 years ago, when Graeme got a job as a civil servant, and the first thing his mum said was that it made him marriage material, Graeme and Tamara decided it was time to start planning their wedding. And if I can just be serious for a moment, because one of the questions that I always ask couples when they're having a wedding ceremony, I always ask them what marriage means to them. And when I put this question to Tamara, she said that stepping into marriage confirms everything they've been through together. While Graeme said, when I was ill, there was so much I had to give up or leave behind, but our bond has been constant throughout. That is deep for those two. That is deep. And although COVID initially scuppered their wedding plans, it could not scupper their intention to become husband and wife. And so here you both stand, cosmically bound, because we come to the moment in the ceremony that I call the threshold moment. This is like a black hole, because just like anything that goes into a black hole becomes changed by it. Tamara and Graeme are just about to step into their vow-taking ceremony. And please know that as you do this, as you step into this ceremony, as you make these vows to each other, you will be forever changed by them. So just take a moment to recognise that. And then I'll say, Graeme and Tamara, are you ready to exchange the vows that will make you husband and wife?
Yes.
Yeah. You have the vows. Graeme, would you like to go first? So Graeme and Tamara are now going to read the vows they have written for each other.
I love you, Tamara. Simple words for something so important. With you, I can be weird without feeling odd. And being with you has made the world brighter. With a smile or a laugh, you can lift my mood and make any day a great one. I promise to make you laugh as often as I can. It may not be always deliberate, but laughter will always be welcome. We've been through so much together, so I know we will always be able to face anything in our path. I'll offer you all the love and support I can give, including for reaching for things far away and making you bacon sandwiches when you're hungover. You have made me more open and adventurous, and I promise that I will always try new things, even if I don't like them, and I look forward to all the adventures that we will have together. It's been amazing sharing my life with you, as I get to add your dreams to mine. I'm so proud of everything that you've achieved, and can't wait to see what you do next. It has been a joy to be at your side, where I'll always be, cheering you, or egging you on as required. I am so happy to be your husband. I love you.
Graeme, you've always been the one for me, ever since that day, 9 years ago, when you burnt your mouth on that lasagna, but pretended you were absolutely okay for the rest of the day. Since then, our life together has been an adventure, with lots to celebrate in health, but also some unexpected journeys into sickness. And throughout it all, I've always known that you'll make me laugh, no matter how you've been feeling that day. And I always know I'm safe just being with you. You're my partner, you're my support team, you're the Wally to my Eve, and I'm so thankful for all the ways that you care for me. From my morning coffee to the flowers that I say are silly, but I secretly love them, and the way that you support me when I'm feeling vulnerable. Graeme, I promise to always help you find your way, even if it's just to your glasses. I also promise to stop being so independent sometimes and just let you take care of me when I need it most. And lastly, I always promise to buy you mini eggs, even when it's not Easter. I love you, Graeme, and I'm so happy to be your partner in life, and today and forever now you're one.
Can the Lord of the Rings please come forward? Can you just hold both the rings there for a minute? Can I get you to hold it in your palm, Graeme? And then, Tamara, if you could put your... So just hold the rings in the palm of your hands, and then you put your hand over the top of it, Tamara, so we can bless the rings. Just feel those rings, feel them in your hands. Graeme and Tamara, like the rings of Saturn that are not always visible, but that have been constant for billions of years. May these rings be a constant reminder of the love and commitment you have made to each other today. And as you enter into this fellowship, where you will each take and wear your own ring, which means they will often be apart, please know that just as the one ring was always trying to return to its master, so these rings will always try to return to each other. Graeme, can I ask you to take Tamara's ring, and as you place it on her finger, to repeat after me? That's it. Yeah. Tamara.
Tamara.
That would help.
Sorry.
Let's start again. Graeme, please repeat after me.
Sorry.
Tamara.
Tamara.
This ring is a sign.
This ring is a sign.
I choose you
I choose you
as my partner,
as my partner,
my best friend, and my player too, until the end of my days
until the end of my days,
and my extra lives.
my extra lives.
Tamara, as you place the ring in Graeme's finger, can you repeat after me? Graeme,
Graeme,
this ring is a sign.
this ring is a sign.
I choose you as my partner,
I choose you as my partner,
my best friend,
my best friend,
and my player too,
and my player too,
until the end of my days
until the end of my days
and my extra lives.
and my extra lives.
Can I ask you to join left hands? Tamara and Graeme, so be it. From now to the end of time, you shall be the fellowship of the rings. Graeme and Tamara, hold hands but turn and face everybody here. Here today, this evening, in front of your favourite people and surrounded by the stars, moon and planets, you have made vows of marriage and promises to love and care for each other through all the seasons of your lives together. And as such, I am absolutely delighted to say that by the power given to me by the Galactic Federation of Confederate Galaxies and the Registrar General of Scotland, which means not only are you joined in marriage in this planet, but in every corner of the universe, Graeme and Tamara, it is my absolute privilege to finally be able to pronounce you husband and wife. And you're invited to seal your marriage with a kiss or with a Vulcan handshake, whatever suits. Big cheer from home, please. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, Tamara and Graeme are just going to go and sign their marriage schedule. That's going to make it legal. So I invite you to take a couple of minutes just to relax. Get yourself some 11sies. In other words, a wee drink, because we're going to do a wee toast in a minute. So we'll be back in a second. Beautiful. I nailed it. Thank you. Wave to everybody first. Congratulations. So our first witness.
Oh, that's me. I forgot. Yeah.
So you just go and
Yeah.
Can I grab a picture of the two like you gave me? Yeah, I invited it. Actually, can we do it on the other side so you guys can see it? You want the last couple? Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
So let's put them here. Too cute. Okay, we're back. That's it. It's legal. They can't change their minds. Know that they were going to. But, okay, fellow space travellers, we are going to end today's ceremony, the way all Scottish events end, by hitting the bevy. So please make sure that you've got a wee dram with you. This would usually be done in a Scottish ceremony by sharing a wee dram from a quaich, but that wouldn't really fit in with today's geeky theme. And so instead, well, you'll see in a moment what Graeme and Tamara are going to do. But they will be using whisky. And it's a whisky that they personally blended on a blending course, a whisky blending course they did last year, where they ended up getting absolutely hammered and having a curry. So God knows what the whisky's going to taste like. but before they share a wee sip of their tikka masala blended malt, that just sounds awful, doesn't it? On behalf of them both, can I offer you all a very heartfelt thank you for tuning in and joining them today on this trip through space and time, where they have indeed been married among the stars. We hope you've all very much enjoyed our journey. In a few moments, we'll be descending back towards planet Earth, where we hope the SS Enterprise will dock safely. But before we boost our engines and set our bearings for Alderaan, home, there is one last thing left to do. Tamara and Graeme, can I ask you to get your whisky ready? If you can't see it, it's a beaker. Show it to everybody. It's a science beaker. Now that's a quake for you. Have you actually tasted what this? Do you know what it's going to taste like? No.
At some point, yeah.
You just can't remember. So it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, and it's going to be pure minging. Right. So pour a wee bit each. And once again, as you pour that whisky together, just know that what is done by blending these two whiskies together can never be undone. Just like as you blend your two lives together, that can never be undone. But Tamara and Graeme, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your service and your ceremony, and for all the wonderful conversations we've had over the past couple of years to get here. It's been absolutely amazing, and I've loved it. And I really wish you a lifetime of happiness, love, geekiness. May you never ever want to stop getting into your giant onesies and watching geeky movies. And may you live happily ever after till the end of your days. Tamara and Graeme, share a wee sip from the beaker as we say, Tamara and Graeme, live long and prosper, and may the force be with you always. Planet Facebook, join me in a great big cheer, a big nerdy cheer. It's for the first time I give you Graeme and Tamara.
Sweet as candy, its taste is on my mind. Girl, you got me thirsty for another cup of wine. Got a spark from you, girl.
Oh, you can see everybody.
I don't need a cure.
Hello, Jen. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Leslie. My God, there's so many people on.
When we're all alone, keep it up, girl. Yeah, you turn me on. Hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me.
Live long